Check, check. Welcome in, team. How are we doing this evening? Nick, Walmart. Sweet. Definitely will take a look at that. Johnny, good to have you. NVIDIA for sure. You're number 3 in line. Had a DM request for Boeing, so that's first. But you guys are 1, 2, and 3, so we'll get to yours pretty quick. Appreciate you guys joining on time. Everybody's weekend hopefully was good. Hopefully not too quick. Maxwell, yeah, let me start with Hood first, and like usual, get one request from everybody. If things kind of trickle down at the end, we got extra time, I'll see if we can sneak in AMD. Yeah, I haven't charted Hood in a couple weeks. That'll be a good one. But give it a couple more minutes, guys. I'm not sure in NVIDIA. I need to read into that. I mean, I seen the headline last week. What was that, Thursday? And they sold off after hours and then just kind of shook it off or bounced back right away. So I need to read more into that. Actually, Nick can see. Maxwell, yeah, I got a little bit of little bit of divergence, not huge here on the 4 hour. I only like to bring it up and show it when it's fairly prominent on a 4 hour daily or weekly. I think this is mainly because a couple days last week, RSP, which is the equal weight ETF of SPY, meaning doesn't matter if you're NVIDIA or the smallest S&P 500 company in the S&P, they're equal weighted. RSP had a couple weaker days when SPY was kind of holding, meaning is pretty much just a tech heavy day pushing SPY up. So that's kind of why I got a little bit of divergence on SPY, not QQQ, but okay. All right, one last ping. And if people aren't here, then sorry for them, but people usually roll a little bit late. All right, guys, welcome in. Like I said, appreciate you guys being on time. My name is StartedWith, one of the staff members here. If you're new, welcome to the best trading group ever. If you're a regular, I see a lot of regular faces in here. Appreciate you guys putting in the time week after week. But with that, guys, we'll dive in. I was kind of mentioning, kind of talking with Maxwell here. A couple things I'm kind of watching here to be mindful of. We got a little bit of divergence. So this is a relative strength index. So it's exactly what it sounds like, relative strength. I don't use it on a shorter time frame. But what I kind of look for, I usually check this once or twice a week, especially after we have big moves up or down. I want to see, for moving up, I want to see the relative strength moving up with it to confirm our move. And when we get a little bit of divergence, as we've seen here, get my drawings going for the night. So SPY here on the chart made a higher high, meaning this high is higher than this one. And the RSI had some hidden divergence, made a lower high, meaning the price moved up higher. This move should have been up higher on the RSI to confirm this move here. And we see when we sold back under, it kind of can got a little bit of confirmation on that RSI divergence. So what I'm kind of seeing here this week too, 1, 2, and this third one didn't quite get here, although we didn't push a lot higher. But whether you count this cluster or this wick here, we did push higher. So I wanted to see this RSI a little bit more high here to confirm this move here. And so kind of like Maxwell said in the chat, I'm not just overly or blindly bearish tomorrow, but I will watch first and foremost. Let me get back to our regular chart here. Give me 1 second. So I kind of did the heavy lifting for you guys before class started. We can see here my focus tomorrow and this week is this 639 level, this big thick line here as we start into this red zone here. So when we gapped up, a few weeks ago, whatever it was, last month, late July, we gapped up, and then we kind of, this pre-market level here, we sold through this 639. That was the level to watch. That was the level to mark on the pre-market. We sold down the next day because every time we got back up since, failed breakout over hard sell, failed breakout over hard sell. Didn't quite get there. So that is my focus this week. So again, I always tell people to zoom out, look big picture, because we can open. I'm gonna zoom in here for you guys real quick. I'm on the 30-minute chart here. So we can push up quickly into a level. And you guys, I know my candles aren't green and red, but a green candle, it's usually up, and people just want to get bullish, 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 and they don't zoom out to see where the hell we're at. And they think a breakout's coming, and boom, we get smacked down in a hard sell back under. They're like, what the hell happened? Do we get news? It's like, no, we're at this big level here. So for me, 639, kind of this little red zone here, that's kind of 639, 40 or 50. That's my focus, combined with this trend line as well. So if we push up here, and we start, kind of getting failed breakouts on the top, I am very, very cautious to want to start a long position here. I'm more inclined to go short on here because, again, we're pushing up not just a random level, not just something we're randomly picking on the chart, but it's a past level, when we look left, that makes sense to me. And hopefully that makes sense to you guys as I kind of talk about it and show you. That is my focus this week. Any breaks over, ride that wave. I need a clean breakout of 639. I need it to look nice and convincing, because again, going back here, anytime we open over 639 back in this late July zone, if we failed to hold it, we had the hard sell. Failed to hold it, didn't quite get there pre-market, hard sell. And so again, That is my focus on SPY this week. Again, if we push over, let's go get those all-time highs. Let's ride that momentum. But if not, the 637.68 has been big last week, and then even more so the 635.67. Called it a couple times my tab, and for sure last week Friday, breakout retest, failed break below. What do? We legged up. So again, any failed breakouts over here, I think we're, it's okay for a retest or a retrace a little bit down to here, maybe even this level. Don't get overly bearish, on the week or the month or whatever it is. Just clear bias, just take it day to day, and so we'll see what we get. Any questions on SPY? As of now, you guys have the ability to unmute your mic, ask away if you need more clarity, but if not, I'm going to go on to QQQ and then your watch list. I don't want to spend too much time, but I always like to start with overall market conditions, where I think we're at and where we could be going. QQQ, similar story. It does not have the RSI divergence because it is very, it's just all tech driven. So it's either kind of pushing or not. There's not a lot mixed in there. And so higher highs are still being set here. Thing to watch here for me is this trend line combined with this level here. If we break out of this 576, that's the level to focus on here. This is, unless I'm wrong, all-time highs, I believe. Yes. So don't be late to the party. If you weren't buying dips down here, obviously it's in hindsight, I can talk about it, but this is all-time highs here. So as of now, I believe we're going to be opening at all-time high if we don't count this pre-market action here. So tricky spot. Can it go more? Can we make a new all-time high this week? Absolutely. But just guys, use some caution, use some common sense here. We see this sell down here, gapped up, new all-time high, sell, sell, sell. Maybe that was news or whatever. I think this is on the back of earnings, Microsoft and whatever. They gapped us down, Microsoft and Amazon. And they held that day, I believe, and then the rest of tech sold off. And so, again, that's the spot to watch, 576. You see my alert. That's probably going to get triggered immediately at the open, just to kind of remind myself to watch that zone there. But entry retracements for me are a little bit welcomed. Anytime, this is my hourly 20, this yellow line here. So anytime we get pretty far extended, I'm okay for a little bit of a retrace or bare minimum consolidation, let that hourly 20 catch up. Same with the moving averages underneath here. The daily 9 is way down here. I don't know what percent that is away, but just be mindful of that. We can keep running, but when people start to take profit and we kind of chop or start dipping a little bit, you don't want to be the last one in at the top. So in rejections of 576, we can easily go back to this little midday cluster here from Friday, come down here, this dip here, and these levels down to here. So me, my trading style, I like to back test levels. I hate trading all-time highs, but that's the environment we're in, because we're just, markets are kind of all-time highs week after week. Any questions on Qs? Yeah, Maxwell, that basically 637. Yeah, that little cluster here, I can agree with that. Yeah, the little cluster, we kind of got those tops there. For me, I kind of like to see where those swing high and lows are for the wicks, but yeah, 567 flat, that can definitely provide a very nice entry. Yeah, let me get down a couple more names here. TTD, NVO. All right, there's no questions. On to the watch list. Avenger, Boeing. Are you in this one, brother? Feel free to unmute your mic, or are you just kind of eyeing this for now? I have a couple ideas for you, but let me know if you're already in it.
I'm looking to get in.
Looking to get in. Perfect, man. So let me zoom out just a little bit here, man. Kind of showing you what I'm seeing. Did not want to go to the daily. Sorry about that. All right. So you guys know how I trade. I kind of like to trade swing highs and lows, which kind of correlates to breakout retests. So one thing I'd focus on here, Avenger, what I'm really seeing here is when we broke above this, I'm just going to draw a really crappy line here just so it's obvious. Basically, 229. We break out over, which was resistance. Every time we're over it, late July, what did that provide for us? Support over. Yeah, we got some candle close on the hourly, but ultimately where do we close each day? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, 8-day breakout, come back down, failed hold, tried to break it over hold. So you guys know where I'm going with this, especially Avenger with this. We broke back over. So let me clear these here and zoom in for you. So that 229, man, very, very tradable chart. For me, first and foremost, I'm looking, my bias is buy the dip first and foremost. So a real nice zoomed in look here on the hourly chart. What we do have going for us here, again, the support, focus on this. So if we kind of trickle in here, maybe we open at it, but you want to see buyers step in. You want to see, I know these wicks right here are not at 229, but when you see bottom side wicks for anybody watching, like I say, week after week, study the candlestick charts. What are they telling you? As the candlestick as a whole, nobody's really winning because sellers are on top, buyers are on bottom. But what I'm getting at with the Avengers setup here is you want to see these wicks on the bottom side here. So if they try to sell it under and buy back up and we get a wick under, they sell it under and we get a wick back up. That is buying pressure stepping in. That is aggressive buyers stepping in at the level we want to possibly buy the dip at. So in addition to that, this hourly 20, if we kind of range, chop, whatever you want to call it, should stack right here. And then the daily 20 moving average, that is a green dash line, just kind of chilling here. So we pushed up a little bit and we've traced back. So this is probably going to stair step up a little bit. It's not going to be way up here because we didn't hold this move up here. So it's the moving average from the day. So we pushed up, retraced just a little bit, but we closed higher than previous days. So that daily 20 moving average should creep up a little bit. So this range here with the moving average Avenger, this is kind of going to be my stop out zone here. What I would use as a stop loss. So first and foremost, again, I know I'm kind of rambling, look to buy that dip first. And then if you do get that dip, okay, where do we sell? Where are my targets? Easy. Go to a smaller time frame. Let's go to 15-minute. Boom, you're in at 229. Where are we selling? Anywhere on the bottom side of these candles here is kind of my first target. Be careful of these wicks here. We really need to clear over that, basically 229, maybe 25. But look for a target there. Look for this hard, because there's probably a lot of volume on this hard sell here that triggered on the last hour of that day. And it lines up kind of with those candle clusters there. Target 2, and then 3 anywhere up here in this zone here. Kind of messing on my drawings, but does that kind of make sense, or kind of what you would be looking for as well in this setup, man?
Yeah. Would you recommend 2, 3 weeks out, or you think weeklies, or what would be the move?
That's just your risk tolerance. What I tell people is, you buy car insurance for the what if, you buy health insurance for the what if. When you buy time on your options, so you can buy a weekly, but you pretty much need to be right today,
Right.
or if we kind of chop and close here and bounce back up, you kind of need to be right the next day. If you buy a leap, you have 365 days of time. I'm not saying you should hold for these spots, but you have 365 days to see if this bounces and gets back to your entry here. But a weekly, it's all about your risk tolerance, man. Monday, Tuesday, yeah, you might be able to get away buying, for 230 has good liquidity. But again, the risk is if we sell through this, that percent loss is
It's
bigger
gone.
versus,
Right.
6 months, 9 months of time. And so it's just risk tolerance. Because another thing, you can buy time, but if we start chopping here and maybe you got, $600 in the play, whatever it is, tied up, like, well, shit, I'm not winning, but I'm also not losing. And now it's chopping. So that's another thing too, is the move, we could very well, you could buy some October contracts. If we push up to this 231, they're going to pay you nice, but we could range day after day in here and you may have that money tied up. And so it's all hindsight. We come back a week later and be like, oh man, you should have just took weeklies, it would have paid. Or, we sold down through here, you should have, just took some puts. And so it's hard to say, man, just watch the price action. But if you start seeing bottom side wicks, or like basically price action down here, look down here. If we pretend it's 229 and you start seeing big bounces, buyers stepping in, that's your confirmation to go long here at 229. But very nice setup. Very nice setup for sure.
Thank you.
Yep, for sure, man. Yeah, Tito, good question or good comment. Make sure your Greeks aren't going to smoke you as well. So always, for anyone watching, buy a reasonable contract, especially if they're long dated, because if we sell down, you're now out of the money, potentially $2 or $3 more from your entry. And so your Greeks are going to go against you a little bit. Yeah, great point. Yep, daily 20 underneath green, and then purple is daily 9 moving average. Walmart. That was Nick, I believe. Walmart. I need to.
Yep, how we doing, brother?
Charts. Doing all right, man. How you doing, man?
Pretty decent. Looking forward to the week ahead. So
Yeah, for sure, man. Let me get a couple lines here. I don't remember. Is Walmart all-time highs or just a nice breakout? I don't know if I need to go back a little bit here and kind of
yeah,
see.
if you go back to February, actually, we're kind of that 104.70
Kind of that range
was
there.
like the high, and then you can see what it did after that. But
All right, let's go to the daily, just kind of see. I'm not gonna say stalling out. Let's just see where we stopped out here. So we got this just for speed of class. Obviously, there's levels in between here, but this recent range here. Yeah, February kind of, obviously in hindsight, kind of double top there. Weekly. Is this, let's see here. Yeah, I think this all-time high is cool. So daily, weekly kind of makes sense here. Let me build a plan. Kind of why we stopped.
yeah, I'd love to see it get back into like I mean, it was ranging really nice there for a bit,
Yeah, that range, and then that 100 psychological level. That was the trigger there. So I'm in February here. Yeah, so this is that February zone here. Just kind of want to look at this price action real quick, kind of see what we did here. It's kind of push up rejection. Pushed up and sold on last earnings in February. It's kind of swing highs there. Yeah, these levels still make sense. So that gives me confidence in my charting. So yeah, let's see here. What can we do here? So first and foremost, I see topside wicks here. Let me get some more time frame for you, man. First and foremost, we're above previous breakout. My quick reaction comment is buy the dip. So I like what I like to see here. Push up here, resistance short term, resistance, break over, and it held. First time it's held, obviously just the next day, but something to watch there. So if we, new traders don't just look at Walmart, say, oh, it had a down day at the end of the last half of Friday, I'm buying puts. Well, you're potentially buying puts at support here. So yeah, Nick, what I'd be looking for here, kind of this, it's kind of quick charting, but that 103.6 to 103.7-ish pocket here, if that holds, let me get a little range here. I know it's gonna be red. Let's just pretend it's green just to save time on class. But so I like that here because it's kind of that candle body close there, and then it's that wick there and that after hours wick, if we believe however much volume there. So that's my first plan of attack if I were to day trade this. Buy that dip there. If we sell under that late Friday buyback, so that's probably a lot of volume there. We know beginning of the day and end of the day, it's the most volume. I don't have volume bars up here just because I want the chart as large as possible for you guys. But if we hold this level here, any buybacks in that wick, you see that wick again there, buy that dip there, and then again, target, final target. If we sell through that, that's probably going to be a trigger sell because it's going to be that cluster of volume at the open and the cluster volume price sitting there. I bet there's a nice volume node sitting here, nice cluster here. So if we sell through that, that is sellers gobbling through all that volume there, and it's probably going to trigger a pretty nice sell, probably somewhat reaction like that or like that. Were you looking to day trade this? I don't remember what you said, or if you did say in the chat, but we're just kind of looking for a setup here.
no, I didn't say, but I mean, day trade, I'm also okay with swinging it. Either way is fine with me.
Yeah. What are we opening at? So yeah, if you get if you get the 104 calls and you get a 40-cent move, so 40% of your delta, whatever that 104 call is, that's going to pay you super, super nice, man. Then I'm going to tell you, this reaction just here on Friday, there's still sellers parked here at that all-time high. So I believe, mark on your chart, call it whatever you want. I'll all-time highs. I'm gonna put this on here too, just for myself, because I trade this thing a lot. So if we push up here, don't be blind, don't be greedy. Like I tell everyone, who cares what the percent is? This is all-time highs. You don't want to be holding. If we reject again, make a triple top on the daily. So nice spot here, nice chart for sure. But yeah, if they give that 103.6, we're probably gonna retrace down. But like I said, we're day traders, guys. Don't get married to a trade. Take your puts on a break here. Big target one here. See if they sell into this 103 flat. 103 flat sells easily. That 102.54 is probably going to tag easy, because we sell through that 103. What do we do? Hard sell. So nice setup, man. Let me know if you take something. I might tag along and follow you with this. I know we talk a lot in DMs, so let me know on this one, man, for sure.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate you.
Yep. Let's see, Kyle. Yeah, I'll get PLTR for you. Got 2 or 3 ahead of you, but if you stick around, I'll get to it. It's all-time highs. I won't love it, but I will chart it for you. NVIDIA. Johnny B, you're up. You still here, man?
Yeah, man. What's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. Dude, your charting is like so simple. I like it, but I'm currently in NVIDIA's, yeah, I just want to see your output.
Sure. I got this zone here. I was talking. Let me get this. Yeah, man, my charting, I try to make it simple as possible for me, because I'm a dummy, and then also for newbies looking, it's like don't make it difficult, man. Just look for some swing high low reaction, just draw some lines. I got a couple lines here. I was talking with someone in DMs. I don't know if it was, or was that last week? Oh, someone in here. I wonder if they got out or not. They had calls here. We were talking DMs. They pushed up and they sold down. Okay, let me just talk to myself here. So it was a red resistance. Now it is flipped support. So let me zoom out just a bit here. This 20. Let me slap the line here real quick.
I think it's near all-time highs too.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering. Yeah, it's just chugging along. So let's check the 4-hour here. Yeah, all-time highs up here. So okay, 1 second, guys. And it'll chart's quite small. Yeah, all right. That makes sense for sure. Makes sense there. Makes sense. Flip support. Yep. Where's this candle closing at? Yep, look at that right here. So once you get levels, guys, never delete your lines. That 4-hour candle here stopped in its tracks. Look at that at the open from Thursday 2 weeks ago. Think that level doesn't matter? You're damn right. Lots of volume stacked there. All right, Johnny, 30-minute chart here, 30-minute chart. So wanting to get long. Not gonna lie, I want to see tricky spot, no doubt, because you're kind of running into this top range here. And we've seen Thursday, failed breakout over, sell off. Friday, high of day, retrace. Not, I'm not calling it sell. I mean, it sold off, but retraced some of the movement. So for me, with caution, man, because I would first and foremost, I'd love a retrace better. But as of now, if you want to get long, it's got to be a break and hold of this. So a break and hold of this zone here. I'll zoom in for I just kind of want to show you. But so what you're playing is you're playing the breakout over Friday's high, and you want to flip that to support, but knowing this is here and knowing this is here. So I say again with caution, I'm gonna zoom in for you now to kind of show you what I'm seeing here. But because again, we can say, oh, it's resistance. We're too scared to take calls, but then it flies. And you're like, well, shit, why didn't I take calls? So if we get any sort of price action under this here, and we kind of open under it, I'm hands off, because I want to see that reaction here. If I see stuff like this, first 30 minutes of the day, like I'm literally on the 30-minute chart here. If I see 30-minute candles like that, obviously that's a sell through, you kind of miss the move. But, if this candle kind of closed up here and I'm seeing topside wicks, that is sellers kicking the buyer's ass up here. Like they're saying, hey, we're not breaking it out. we're hammering the sells, or it's, let me backtrack. It could just be weak, non-aggressive buyers up here and sellers like kind of just, smacking them down like a mosquito, so to speak. So that's kind of the level to watch. So if we push up and break out, like a 50-cent move or something like that, we back test. And now that we're over it, if we start seeing 30-minute candles closing over it and some bottom side wicks, again, with caution, take your longs, but just know when we sell, if you're in October, maybe you can hold and hedge some puts to the downside. But if this level breaks here, brother, it's not a spot I want to be on for calls. I'm going to take my 15, 18, 20% loss, and I start seeing candles like this. I'm flipping bearish. I don't care about that call I just took a loss on because I'm making money the downside, man. Again, a call could play, but you're not looking for all this crap up here. You're looking for, bare minimum for it to hold. And then Thursday's high zone here. You better be trimming. You better be trimming on those wicks for sure, man. But honestly, I wouldn't love a little pre-market weakness or even a little bit of a weekday to back test this level here. This is where I'd hammer calls with more confidence for sure, man. But again, we're day traders. It could go either way. If you buy time, we break out over, just ride that wave. When people are, chasing up here and you hit that breakout retest, you're just chilling. You're trimming and they're buying your trims, literally. How's that sound for you, man?
Cool. That sounds good. Thank you.
Yep, just set some levels, man, or take a screenshot. I know this is kind of quick charting, but more so that 181.6, man. If we get anything down there, and actually, I don't trade this name a lot, but just for interest of the chart, I'm gonna get an alert going for sure because I want to see, do we back test? And that's big buys kicking in there for sure. So definitely name to watch. Maxwell, let's take a look ahead, man. Still here, looks like you're in the chat. Broke out over resistance from somewhere. It's green, it's support now. We will treat it as such. Let's zoom out, see where we're at. This all-time highs? I think so, dang it. That's right, that's all right, just makes it harder. Maxwell, you in this or just looking for entry, man? Or let me see if you're in the chat here. Yep, Logan, I see your request. Ryan as well. Kevin as well. I'll try and get to them as quick as I can, guys. Feel free to, let's see. I don't know how I feel about Hood when it goes like this. Cool. So not in yet. Yeah, so I'm being honest. that's just how I trade, man. I'm low risk trader. I want to see a back test some levels here. Nice little cluster here. It didn't tag that. I like this cluster here. It needs a line, but it just broke through that with volume, which I guess makes sense. Where do we stop here? Hits there, doesn't hit there. Don't love this charting, but we're gonna roll with it. 4-hour chart here. So yeah, I really I would love a back test in this 110, 112 zone. Let's get to a smaller time frame so we can kind of figure out what we want to do here. So what I'd be looking for, Maxwell, for me as a day trader, was that, yeah. So remember that wick here at that 113.44 quick charting. We broke out over it. And first day we broke over it, buyers defended. So first and foremost, any dips into here, you're buying this double bottom zone here. First and foremost, try the calls. Again, new traders, you might be like, okay, it's going down, I want puts. Well, no, you don't take puts at support, especially when you see bottom side wicks like this. Again, that is buyers stepping in. That is a candle starting here. Sellers are cheering, oh, we're gonna sell through here. Buyers saying, nope. We buy it back up and all these candle closes right there. So the safest entry is a back test here. You might not get it. So another thing to look for here is exactly that cluster here. Let's see here in this bottom. Kind of at 114, yeah, 114.25 could be your first line of defense here. So let me shoot that line here. So again, we're just focusing on Friday's price action. We pushed up, candle essentially closed here, opened up, back tested, defended, really no progress for, let's just call it 2 or 3 hours. And then we get, what do? We get a breakout candle, not much continuation, but the next candle continuation. So basically how my mind thinks is any back test of this 114.25, what do we want to see? If you're in calls, bare minimum, you want bottom side wicks, and you want to see candle closes over, again, 30-minute, 1 hour chart, whatever it is, 15, I wouldn't really say 5 minutes. I mean, 5 minutes, if 5 minutes chopping like this, your 15 minutes going to look similar. And so we'll want to see that hold. But if that sells, I still don't really like puts in here, man, because of that Friday price action, because puts can look good. You go and take a bathroom break, whatever, you take your lunch break, you're like, hey, I'm chilling. I'm gonna sell 113.44. Nope, they buy it back up and stop you out. So to me, any sells into here is a no zone on puts. I need a clean close under 113.4 because we cleared this whole zone here from this opening range candle. We cleared this whole range here, and we're probably going to sell down into this range here. So all-time highs makes it tricky, but again, ride the wave, ride the momentum. It could back test. It could be a 5-minute candle, it could be a 1 hour candle. We don't know how quick that's going to move there, but just something to keep watch on. Just set an alert here and maybe one down here, and just kind of watch that price action there. Yeah, rumors S&P 500. We don't know. We just don't know. They're rumors until they come true. All right. Let's see. TTD and NVO. I got a couple requests. Let's see. Did I see another TV? Let's see. All right, let's do NVO because Ryan's eyeing it as well. I recognize the name. I think I have some levels on. I'm not sure. This might have been a Northern request. Let's zoom out a little bit here. Zoom on the daily. All right. Hard sell on, need to move this thing here. Earnings, probably. Yep. Clean chart. All right. What do we have here? Got something going on here. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's check the weekly. Because I want to see where it is. That's not the weekly. All right, that's what I want to see. Why are we stopping here? See if I can get this all in one chart here. There we go. All right, start large with charting and then go small. So I'm on the weekly. Just want to get a couple quick levels here because for sure that 2 days candle, that bottom of that wick there lined up perfect with that candle there. And now top side on our way up. Are you guys request this? Unmute your mic. Are you guys in this or just looking? Let me know shares or options, what we're seeing here, because clear and obvious, we're going to have some resistance on the way up. Again, I'm on the weekly. How big of a range? That $10 range. It's a good starting point for sure. So I'm just hovering over, guys. I'm grabbing some wicks, looking way left here, all the way 3 years ago. Levels still do matter. 1 hour chart here. Let's see. Ryan, you're in some leaps. All right, 100 strike. That is way out there, brother, but you got time. But man, that's $50 out of the money, man. All right, checking some levels here. So good news. I don't know, did you just buy them or you bought them at like 70 and you're hurting? Not gonna make funny, just yeah, Friday. Okay, I'm not mad at that. I don't love the strike. I have no idea what that delta would be, but purely from a chart perspective, man, as of now, you're buying that multi-year low weekly range. So again, we've seen it was quick charting, quick line here, coloring it green for support. This is your last chance support, brother. I know you're in something that expires in 2 years, but you know, it still has to make sense, especially with option Greeks. You know, you can have time on it, but you know, your delta is just going to get crushed on a sell. If you're $60 out of money, But again, purely from a chart perspective, anyone watching this that wants to get maybe shares, I have no idea what this company does, shares or maybe some swings or even day trades. So hard sell down again into this weekly zone here. And, you know, first time in a long time, we're getting a little bit of buyback pressure here, buyback volume, whatever it is. So, you know, again, it could be sellers just going, hey, we sold this thing down from 100 or 200, whatever it was. You know, we did our job, whatever, for whatever reason, we're down in this, 48 zone. We don't care about anymore. So maybe sellers are just laying off, or maybe buyers actually are stepping in. I don't know, but long-winded talk here. Sorry. My point is, it's slowly building a base down here. So that's the first and foremost thing when I see a chart like this. It has the daily 9 overhead. It just reclaimed it, which is good. It's got the 20, 10, $9 overhead as well. So something to watch there. So anybody short dated, just purely again from a chart perspective, this zone here that was resistance 1, 2, 3 times now closed over it. Let me zoom in. I'm sorry about that. Probably hard to see here. So closed over it here for the first time. So again, day trades, buying shares, whatever it is, it's just simple. It's simple charting. This is the first form of support. Now that this one is cleared, resistance, resistance. So best case scenario, it's just a slow grind up. It's never that easy. I know that, but where are your targets for long swings? Easy. You just start looking to, again, longer term, long time frame charting, excuse me. And you just look to, sell, daily 20 when that stair steps, where that ends up, trim on the way up. And this is kind of speaking for his leaps. Short dated, we want to stay on a little bit shorter time frame. We don't have a ton of action here just from a couple weeks ago, but we do have this little cluster here to start selling into. So a break and hold of 51, start looking upside to that 53 zone there. But I don't know if we get that in a day or a week, whatever it is. But the chart is ugly, but this recent zone here and where it stopped out, I can get behind it. Again, ugly sell on, that was probably some, if it was, bio related, it was probably, bad news on a trial or, phase 1, 2, or 3 of the trial, whatever it is. But it's building a base. But again, it could drop more. Everybody thought they're buying the bottom on United Healthcare and it kept selling. So just something to watch here. So definitely play your calls off this zone here, 51 basically. And then he pushes up there. But yeah, let's check back in a week or two, kind of see what this thing's doing. Definitely name to watch. We got some smart people in the chat. Let me know. Weight loss drug. Yep. Always risky for sure. All right. Gotta scroll up in the chat, get caught up. Looking for PLTR. Who the heck was that? I know I'm skipping somebody. Kyle, you in here? Yep, Kyle, man. You in this one, or I think it's in their all-time high. Oops, that's not Palantir. A PTLR, right? What the heck's going on here? Oh, PLTR. One of these days. There we go. Let's see, Kyle. Are you? What's your entry, man? Are you leaps, shares? What are you looking for on this? That can kind of help you. If you're in and you bought the top, or you in and you're up huge, I can tell you why haven't you sold yet. Let me know. 200 calls for the end of the month. Where did you get in at the chart? What price level, if you remember? Don't tell me 140 and you haven't sold. I'm gonna boot you from the Zoom. I'm just kidding, man. You entered at 186. All right, I can build a plan off that. Have you trimmed yet? Be honest. 186. Damn it. All right, cool. Appreciate the honesty. Let's get you a plan here. If I can get a damn line going. All right. So you bought sometime Friday or last week. All right. I like that entry. Whether you meant to or not, that's a kick-ass entry there. Because look at all those candles closing over. I'm on the 1 hour chart, brother. All-time highs, what we basically do is you do Fibonacci extensions and then round numbers. So 189, 190, you're in a 200 call. Obviously, that's I would say the sexy psychological number, like 200, 150, stuff like that. So basically, your plan is, man, you bought here into the month August. We're in August. I had to think for a minute. So what I will say, I'm not just saying it because it's you, but this is our extension from the daily 9. Just something to keep track of here. So which worst case scenario is we kind of sell through all-time high, we start retracing. You don't want that. So what can happen and isn't such a bad thing if it does happen is if we start holding this, but you don't get the move, but we also don't sell through. So like we don't sell through the previous day low. So we may see some consolidation up here of just, we can see, we call it seller exhaustion. There can just be buyers too. They're just like, hey man, we've been buying the shit out of this thing. We're not ready to sell, and buyers are not kicking it down. So you might see some consolidation up here. And what's going to happen is this daily 9 is slowly going to start creeping up slowly because we're not getting any price action up, but it's going to start flattening out. Eventually, it's going to be stacked up here. So if that does happen, that's something to watch and keep track of. Like I said, I don't have much for you because it's all-time high, but basically my stop loss for this, because you basically bought here at this 186, plain and simple, if we break this structure. So what is structure? For me, structure is here's a low and a higher low. Here's the low and a higher low. Higher low. Here's a low and it's higher than this one. Here's a low, it's higher than this one. Here's a low, you get it, just simple trading. So basically, we're stair stepping up. You want to see bare minimum a back test, make a higher low here and a bounce hold. I know I'm drawing through the after hours, but just for charting purposes, you want to see that hold here and whether we go up more or at least hold here and then leg up the next day. That's what you want to see. If you start seeing consolidation, we break down, right here is the break of structure. 184 is my line in the sand, to quote Dirty River. A break of structure, because here's our trend line. I know it's a squiggly line. This is your trend line, higher low, higher low. What do we do now? We sell through that. You break the structure here, and now what are we doing? We're setting potentially lower highs on the way down. So you bought support, cool, that's fine. That has to hold. But end of the month, that's what, 3 weeks at best? That is not a lot of time. You cannot watch a break through 184, 180, 176, and then you cut at 170. That's bad trading, because what you could have done, if you're holding, you need to hedge puts, day trade puts, day trade puts, day trade puts. Now you made a couple $100 on puts and maybe you're only down whatever on these calls. Now it's probably a wash, it's offset. You could probably sell both for break even just on that trade alone. So I know I kind of ramble a little bit, but hopefully that helps you, man. Like I said, it's tricky when it's all-time high. It's just it's a tricky thing because we don't have anything up here, but get your round numbers, ride the MAs. If you have the hourly 20-year chart, even better. But yeah. Just because I've seen this in the chat. Victor, if you got a chance, how many contracts should you be buying? I need to talk to River. We need actually Toasty. He is going to be doing a position sizing class. I'm going to jump on that one. It's going to be not till September, Victor, but position sizing is always your portfolio. It's never number of contracts. I hate that when new traders just say, I'm buying 10 contracts. Well, I'm buying 10 contracts of Palantir. I'm buying 10 contracts of Bank of America. I'm buying 10 contracts of Tesla. 10 contracts of Tesla could be $1,200. 10 contracts of Bank of America could be $200. It's all about position sizing. So this is going to be look like a 3-year-old's doing this, but if your port is $1,000, it's easy. It's easy math. Me, I do 10%. I'm not a great trader, but I do have experience. I'm okay with that. Most people should be starting with 5% of their portfolio. I know it's a little bit of tangent. Hang with me, guys. I'll get back to the charting. So again, your port tomorrow morning is $1,000 even. You just joined the Discord. Luigi sends out alert. 5% of your port, $50, I think, if that math is right. It's not a lot of money. That's what it is. The Ouija puts out an alert. Let's just say Bank of America. It's $48. You buy one contract. Nando sends out an alert for SPY. Guess what? 5% of your port is already tied up. You should not be taking that next play. You need to have patience. You know why? What if Luigi's play goes bad? Just pretend it's Bank of America. We bought calls here. It goes against it. Now you're losing. Nando got in some SPY calls, hypothetically. It goes against it. Now you're losing. Now you have 2 losing trades against you. You're in more than 5% of your port. Guess what? You try to get 1 to 3% a day port gain. I guarantee this loss is going to be more than 1 to 3% of your portfolio. You don't want to do that. So it's all about patience, you guys. Victor, we can talk later in DMs if you want. But for me, I do 10% because I'm dumb. It's easy math. I can just take a 0 off. I know what 10% of 10,000 is. I know what 10% of 400 is. Because if I have $1,000 and I have a 10% of my position size and I make 30% on that trade, that is 3% gain on the port. It's just easy math for me every day. I don't have to think about it. Like literally, if I'm in a trade and I alert something and I'm up 30%, instantly in my head, boom, I know I'm up 3% a day. I shut it down. I don't lock my account. I mentally lock it out. I hit my goal. Done. It's all about position sizing, you guys. Always. I don't probably have it up right now, but yeah, I do. I have a calculator. I literally say, okay, my port, let's say my port's 5,200 and I want to get a Bank of America, those contracts are, $80. I do the math. I say, okay, what is 10% of this? $520. Oops. 5 by 10, 520. Bank of America, each contract is $80. How many am I getting? I'm getting 6 contracts. I literally leave a calculator up. I do this every single day. So I know what position size is in check. Do whatever percent you want. Swings, I'm only doing 3% of my port. I start light and I add to it. A little bit of tangent, but hopefully that helps. Yeah, Victor, sizing too small is not a bad thing, because when you go heavy or you go heavier, or maybe the quote unquote correct position size, and then that trade gets whacked, that's a shitty feeling, man. So it takes discipline. It takes discipline to do the same thing every single day and not full port. All right, sorry about the tangent, guys. Did PLTR. Logan, are you in here? Yeah, Logan, let's do, I haven't heard this name in a while. TOST.
Yeah.
What you got in this one, man? Let me see. Are you in this or just looking?
I am not currently in it, but I was potentially looking to get into it. I noticed it just reached the bottom of its consolidation range that started around July 3rd. And I noticed they also did have decent earnings. They didn't beat expected, but their year-over-year revenue also grew pretty significantly. But I also saw a pretty drastic double bottom and was wondering if that would potentially be a good swing play.
Hell yeah, dude. Like I know I got 2 lines on the chart, but a 1-line chart at 47 is all you need. I mean, I'm gonna get more here, but basically, guys, how I chart, my swing highs and lows. Swing highs, boom, rounded top, back down. What do? We get back up here, rejection, break over, and then consolidation, breakout. We're coming back into it, as Logan kind of mentioned here. Are you talking options, I assume, or I shouldn't assume, but it could be shares?
I was potentially looking into a swing option.
Cool. Yeah, could be more obvious. Hopefully it's a big enough chart. Clear and obvious. Anyone looking at this chart that maybe wants to play this, beautiful potential double bottom, but just we think it's easy for us. They could swipe this and sell it through. So first and foremost, absolutely buy your dip here. We gotta see what we get. We don't see, I don't know how much. Let's see. Yeah, it moves pre-market. So just watch that pre-market level here, brother. Any trickles over or holds over this 43 level here, and I'm zoomed out kind of far, but if we slam this, and I know this isn't exactly 43, but again, if we start seeing bottom side wicks underneath here, that's big buyers, buying pressure kicking in. That should be your confidence and your confirmation to try that there, because if they got a 43.5 or 44 strike, that's going to pay you very, very nice. Like immediately, if you buy at 43, you go to 43.5. You're getting 50% of your delta, 50%, like a percent wise. If you look at Delta, let's just say Delta is 60. It's going to pay you $30 right away, right off the bat. And that could be a very nice return. If we sell through 43, let's go look at some price action. What happens when we sell 43? Yep. So all we're doing, we're just scrolling back in time, guys, just for confirmation, just for conviction, whatever you want to call it. So when we push up here, I don't know what date this is, sometime probably in August. 43 zone, failed breakout, sell, breakout over, big move. Sold through it, no buyback. Buyback over, formed a little bit of support, sold under. This is a better example right here. Right here is what I want to show. So this is what you're going to watch tomorrow, Logan. So let's just pretend this is present day. If this is your price action Monday, this is what to watch. So if we sell through or a little bit under 43, we buy it back up. 43 has to hold. I know the moving averages aren't there right now, but 43 has to hold because we see when the breakouts happen, we get the nice fall through. When 43 fails us, we see heavy selling pressure kick in to the downside, and it's just basically breakdown, retest, leg lower, breakdown, retest, leg lower. And so that's the spot to watch on 43, the 43 zone. We see that reaction there. Get back over it. How much time are you looking to buy? Do you have fairly, I don't know how expensive these contracts are, but because if you need to 44,
I was looking at doing maybe a monthly swing.
okay. Is this a pretty, if they have good open interest? I don't know if you're familiar with that term, but just basically people in and out of the contracts. Is there good volume on it? You trade this a lot?
I did trade it before, right when it broke out of its consolidation range at July 14th, or it's July 16th, I believe. And then I sold it, but I was looking to get back into it.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, definitely man, this 43 range. Then if you catch that break or hold a 43, we know this kind of this 43 to 43.18 pocket on the upside is going to give you fits probably at first attempt on the way up. So just be mindful of that. Let me extend this for you real quick here. So we see how it kind of it fails when we get the breakout big move, but when it fails, it sells down. So definitely what to be watching here. If we catch that bounce on 43 here, and yeah, it makes sense to Friday's price action there. So what did we do just Friday, just recently, most recent price action came down into this 44 to 44.18 pocket. Buyers try to kick in here in this 30-minute candle. Sellers, perfect rejection, support, flipped resistance right here, and sell down, leg down next support. So same thing. Your focus is, does 43 hold? Don't get married to the trade. Hopefully it does. First and foremost, try and buy that dip. I don't mean the opening like 5-minute or 3-minute candle. Ideally, you can wait like 30 minutes of the day, and we see a little bit of consolidation here with some bottom side wicks. Take your shot. Yep, get into some 44s. See if you can get that move up. I don't know if this move happens up here to one day or a week or a month later, but even if you catch that and we start consolidating here, brother, that's not such a bad thing. You're not making a bunch of money, but as long as we hold this level, there's no reason to be in puts here, man. Nice setup, man. This is I know it's gonna open right here, but I'm gonna set an alert. I'm gonna check the contracts on it tomorrow because I like that set as well. Great chart request, man. I like that.
All right, thank you.
Yep. And yeah, send me a DM, man. I'm not sure if we talk a lot in DMs, but or ever, but just yeah, if you have any questions, let me know, man. Happy to help.
All right, thanks.
Kevin, Amazon, big ass move. Glad someone requested it. Not going to be cocky with my charting, but there's one line on here. I hope you guys sold that. Look at that big ass red line. If you guys didn't sell on this pump, man, 224, you guys. If you don't have it on your line, or if you don't have it on your chart already, get it on your chart. 224, that red line. 224, sell through 224. Look at that, push up, rejection, 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 get over, continuation to the top side. Any sells under, continuation bottom side, push up, under. What are we doing now here last week? Again, 224. If you guys want to be bullish on it, let's see. Kevin, September calls. All right. Where are you at, Kevin? I don't I kind of spoke too much. I don't want to roast you if you bought the top. I don't want to be rude. Feel free to unmute or let me know in the chat where you're at. If you got it down here, you're chilling. If you bought it up here, we got some work to do, but very, very clear and obvious support right in here, man. So not all hope is lost, but feel free to unmute your mic or just let me know in chat. You're up on them 40%. Have you trimmed? Don't you lie to me. Hopefully you trimmed. Or if you didn't, maybe you need help on charting, which is okay too, because had 3-2 left. All right, cool. I can respect that. Again, I'm not trying to be harsh on you guys, just trying to teach good trading habits. All right, ugly green line, but you get the point, Kevin. So you're up 40%. I'm not sure where you entered on the chart. Just for speed of class, this level has to hold for you, man. So if they closed at 40%, it's the chart is obvious. So there's September contracts, but again, clear and obvious day. I can go back to the daily again. This 224 is just brick wall, concrete, titanium resistance, whatever you want to call it. Buyers, they pushed, they're just not getting any large time frame closes over that. So what I do like, you're in the middle of the range, literally smack dab, middle of the range here, Kevin. So this is your daily 9 moving average. So if I were to go to the daily chart, it'd be right there at basically 222.50. First and foremost, anyone sees this chart that they want to get in, absolutely buy your dips at 222.50. We see that level hold there. Buy your dip. You absolutely have to sell. Anybody short term, and even Kevin as well. I mean, what I would do, Kevin, because you have money tied up, just some hindsight trading, just for anyone watching. A breakout can come, and you can complain to me. You can send me a DM, be like, dude, why'd you tell me to sell? That's fine. I bottom tick KO calls. I sold at 56%. They're well up over 100. Shit happens. But what you don't want to do is see consolidation forming here. Like, okay, today's the breakout. Today's the breakout. No, it's not. I'm not going to sell. And boom, we're down to entry. We move on to the next day. Today's a breakout. No, back to entry. And finally, we get a weak market day. We sell through this volume cluster here at 220, 221.50. And, Kevin or someone could be up 40%. And now you're up break even, or now you're in the red. That's what you don't want to do. So this range here, you guys, is a very, very tradable range for anybody who wants to get in Amazon. Again, buy your dips off here, but this is your top. You shouldn't be looking for 226, 228, 230. This is the top until it's not. This is the top range. I know we pushed up on Thursday, but we didn't get any close over it. So I'm treating this as my range this week. Can we get over it? Possibly. Or if you miss this move down here, a breakout retest, get back in, that's fine. But when I see hard selling like this isn't just a random level. This is a huge level on the daily that absolutely makes sense. So, yeah, so, you turned 1 at 68. Love that, man. So, yeah, first and foremost, Kevin, this has to hold this week. If this holds, get out, reposition, or bare minimum, you better be day trading puts, because if you're in calls, you're letting go red, you're looking at support, it's support, it's red, it's not taking puts, more red. And now, just again, I'm not picking on you. Now you decide to sell at 30%. You just gave up, 38% of gains because of some greed. Play the chart, you guys. But Amazon, I like this setup. Alert is getting set. I was hoping someone requested this, so I'm glad you did, man. But good on you, man. You sold at 68, so that was probably somewhere up here. Good for you, man. All that matters, if you're holding a breakout at 224, got to get that breakout, guys. Clear as day. All right. Checking the chart or chat. Excuse me. Get a little short on time. Just making sure I at least got one request from anybody. Dan, yeah, let me do micro strategy, I believe that is, and then we're looking good in the chat. Then I'll do a recap. If you guys need to leave, you can. If you want to see a SPY QQ recap at the end, give me 5 minutes and I'll do that. But I appreciate you guys being here. Super good request, you guys. I already forgot that last one was whatever we just did before that, and then Amazon as well. Super nice trade, you guys. Again, take a screenshot, mark some levels. Super nice range on Amazon. MSTR. Zoom out just a little bit here. Are you in this one, Dan, or looking to be? Let me see on the chat again. I can't remember what you said here. Oh, not in it, but want to be a bull. Cool. Let's see if we can find a place. Are you a day trader or swing? Ooh, I do like this here. I like this setup already because I see some things here. Oh yeah, I like that. Let's zoom left. Oh yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Sorry, sometimes charting just gets you all giddy. All right, I like that. Looking for shares. All right, this is 390. Let's see where we're at on a larger time frame on 390. Let me get out of this real quick. Big thick line. Let's zoom out. Let's see where the heck we're at. Why do we bounce that level there? Yep. Yep. Weekly, does it matter? Let's see if we tag anything in the weekly. Nope, just our daily. Yep, this is the spot to scale in, excuse me. Yeah, it's a big thick line, brother. I know they're shares, they don't expire, but you still got to have risk management. So let's get some lines here. When I enter a share position, guys, I say, you know, where's the nearest resistance? Where's the nearest support? And for me, if I enter here, I want to see what this next cluster down here is. Usually for me, just how I like to work, again, I use the 10% thing because for me, 10% on shares is nothing. Down 10% on a sharehold that you could literally hold for years as long as the company doesn't go out of business, no big deal. So I'll explain what I'm doing here in just a second. And top side, let's get a couple more levels up here. We need to see clear and obvious top side rejection. So we're going to focus still. Anyone look at the chart? I'm on the daily. I'll zoom in a second. So if you buy the dip here, where is 10%? So 8% is here. 10% are daily 200. Ooh, that's easy. That's easy. All right. So again, my thought, and if I buy the dip, where is 10% profit? Top side. Perfect. All right. This is an easy setup to teach. So top side, again, resistance. Bottom side, we're calling last chance support. We're going to have some risk management is green. So kind of the middle of the range here, Dan. It's all right. So what I do, I don't know how big your portfolio is. You don't have to say, but again, never put your whole portfolio in it. So let's, again, we're just using easy round numbers. Let's say you want to put $1,000 into this trade. So your position size when you're fully entered is $1,000. What I do for shares, I either do half size or 1/3 entry. What I usually do, because this market's kind of crazy, I usually do a 1/3 position size. So basically, let's just call it $333. I know a little bit of rounding here. So what you do here, Dan, you enter, you buy $333 worth of shares, not number of shares, but whatever that enters a matter. Well, you're buying a little over one share. Yeah, it's not sexy. Maybe this isn't the best number to use, but can we do 10,000? So $3,000. So you're buying roughly, you know, like give or take 8 to 10 shares here. You want to scale in because if this sells down 10%, you don't want to be full position here and now you're sitting on 10% and now we chop into here for a week or two or a month, whatever it is. And so what I always do, I find my entry and I find where is 10% on the bottom, where's 10% on the top. For me, I'll take a 10% share flip, no big deal, all day long. So again, we're entering here. It's not just a random level. It's a big support. It works for this level here because if there's a random level here, I'd say, hey, let's wait for a trickle down into here. But what we're going to do here, if we break the daily 9 and we break support, again, we're in shares. Down here is like 7-8%. But it's not just random 7-8% number. What do we got here? Big buybacks, big buybacks, big buybacks. So my thought process is if we sell down into here, I want to see buybacks. Do they happen into here? Are they holding this? That's fine. Get your other 1/3 position or the rest of your position fill in now because now this entry here, you're at break even. And then tire trade, your entry was here, you bought into here. Now your cost average is somewhere around 375. So when you push up to here, your second entry is in profit. Your first entry is essentially break even. Overall, you're break even, working your way back into profit. And what is this yellow line here? We haven't talked about it tonight. A daily 200 moving average. It moves very, very slow. If that trickles in here and starts doing this underneath it, it's not going to just perfectly flat, but it does move slow. So if we start trickling in here, you absolutely scale in on the second half of your position on calls. But on the flip side, maybe you enter here and we start pushing up. You can trim, trim, trim. Yeah, you're only in 1/3 position size. That's fine. But if we start pushing, breaking over this 426, 430, you just pat yourself on the back because your bottom ticked here. I don't know if that's the answer you want to hear. Yeah, you want to get into shares. You said 2 months, dude. You can enter here, and we can make this move back in a week, or we can enter here, and it may take you 2 months. I wouldn't really set a time frame on it unless you're worried about having money tied up. If you're having money tied up and you're worried about it, scale way down, because if you're in too heavy, worst thing that's going to happen is we're going to bounce around here for 1 to 2%. And people are making money on shares or leaps or whatever it is, and you're not making any money because you're in too heavy. So just scale in, man. If you want to talk more DMs, we definitely can. I know it's kind of a long-winded answer, but that's why I trade shares, you guys, whether if I were buying QQQ or Apple, whatever it is, I say, okay, are we at a big support? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, where is my next big support? How far away is that? You know, because then if this breaks, I don't like to take, I don't like to have money tied up. What's up, man? You got a question?
Can I get a gizzard dinner?
Nope. This is not KFC, man. This is OT. We're in a Zoom class. DBIV. Wait, I just checked the menu, DBIV. Yeah, I got gizzards here, man. $5.99, man. Is that good? You need a large Coke? All right, just had a little fun. Had to meet them. Oh, always mute your mics, guys. We've had toilet flushes on here. We have people eating food. Always mute your mics. Man, I lost my train of thought. We're gonna wrap this. Spy and QQQ. Damn, that was a good laugh. Dan, sorry. Hopefully I answered your question. Send me a DM, brother. We can talk some more for sure. Spy and QQQ recap if you guys joined late. We got a candle here. Someone wants to check futures on their phone. Are we down there at 637? Let me peek at Robinhood real quick. See where we're at. I think we're at 637. Kind of matters, doesn't really matter, but shows we're up a little bit. Maybe we're up a little bit. Okay, sorry. Man, that gizzard order just ruined my train of thought here. 639, guys, 639. Zooming left, price action, price history, 639. Pre-market here, sold through, never made it back. Next day, tried to push up, kicked it back down, kicked it back down. One of these days was Microsoft, Amazon earnings, and ultimately sold off. New all-time highs. This is the best example of 639 here. When it fails here, this was July 31st. Hard trigger, sell down, never gets back up over. So why does 639 matter? That's a level to watch there because there's going to be a big battle, especially in the morning. Maybe we blast through it and we're bullish. Why are my drawings not working? There we go. Maybe we blast through it. We're bullish the rest of the day, new all-time highs. That's fine. But any hint or any sniff of weakness here, I am not long here at 639. No way. I'm not going to just dive into puts blindly at the first 5-minute candle, but I'm going to watch the reaction there. If I start seeing some topside wicks here at 639, I'm shorting this because, again, it's not just a random level. We've seen what happened when 639 fails us here. I'm shorting that for retrace back here, maybe back down here. at least back to this 637, 68 zone. This was huge for us last week, in this zone even more so. But any break over, I'll ride that wave. But I need to break out a pretty good breakout retest of basically 639 flat, and I want to see that level hold there. Got to see that hold there. QQQ. Same thing, different number. 576. Why does 576 matter? Let's go left. 576, all-time highs. Pushed up, everyone says bullish, 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 breakout, boom. Kill candle, that last 30-minute candle before open, sell day, all day. 576 on Q. If you don't mark that tomorrow and you just blindly take calls, you get smoked. I failed you tonight. Actually, you failed yourself because you didn't take notes. Set an alert. I got an alert, set a line there. Any breakout over. So if we open kind of pre-market like this, back test with caution. This is support until it's not. Play the bounce, but if we sell under, be quick to cut your calls because you have better risk to the downside for sure. Definitely watch this level here. So 576, same with 639. With that, you guys, I'm in the chat. I appreciate you all being here. I got a lot of regulars in here. Appreciate it week after week. 16 of you guys stuck around. I appreciate it. Great request, you guys. What are we looking at? Amazon, Walmart. That NVIDIA looks pretty good too. Keep an eye on that, you guys. Set some alerts. But that's you guys. I'm in the chat. Have a great rest of your evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow.